All right. Hopefully the stream is running. So here's today a bit of a wild ride. All the so I traded late today. I traded late, so I kind of hit later price action. But from yesterday's prep, several setups set up. Russell had a clean sweep through one of the profiles I showed on the way down. When Russell went down, when Russell went down, um, give me a second. It cleanly went through the profile. I erased it because it's old news. And then uh, ES hit several things as well. A lot of me was shorting um, this section, which was not easy. And then I made some really terrible mistakes, like a few impulsive trades for sure. Um, yeah, it was getting short up in this section, which was a bitch. Mostly in here. But the biggest win was fading down here, which was actually beautiful. The reason I faded here is because, well, several reasons. Let's see. There's a value zone down here, which was already drawn in yesterday's prep. Obviously, this was on the close. So it was hitting this value zone and bouncing it. See this zero value area high RTH? This is a value zone on the 10 minute on the ES. Again, obviously it bled through it quite a bit at the close, but it was bouncing this, and there's a curve right there. It's actually, you can see it on the 30-second. That was in yesterday's prep, so we're leaning on this bouncing. So this value area high bouncing here with the value area low on right over here on NQ were really key. And then Russell did some interesting shit. Russell Russell had two curves intraday. Was not in the prep. And I didn't really talk about it bouncing there in the prep, but so you know, that is something. When I have two value areas aligning on two markets, that's a good bounce. Now, what the thing with Russell, however, I think it should have ran. I think if it hits here, it's going on this value area, which has been upgraded to a 3. It was a 2. That was in the prep. We didn't hit that, but we had these two curves, and if you really zoom in here, and this is a 30-second Russell, it pivoted here and here. So that's the value zone low, and it was the value zone low at that time too. See, if I drag the profile back, it's pivoting in real time on that value area low. So when I saw that, I wasn't sure when it pivoted originally. I'm like, that could keep going down. But once it double tapped it and it was coming in for it, this time slot aligns with near that low on ES and NQ, a little bit more on the right side of the V, if you will, on the ES and NQ when they V bottomed originally. But once I seen that double tap and it was kind of rolling back in, I knew that it's going to blow through this value zone because that had an EV2 ranking, which isn't marked. It's something at some point when things are happening on a 30-second chart, you gotta like calculate that in your head. Then it blew through. There's a lot of resistance up here where it should have went through, and then it started ranging. They all micro ranged higher up. NQ and ES definitely micro ranged higher up. I was looking for the target of 64 because, again, this was marked in prep. Why 64? Because 64 is this unusual high node on the 3-year of ES. I talked about that in prep, and I'm like, what? This sticks out for a reason. So again, in the 2-hour video, I talk about why I'm interested in that, because it's magnetic and it's going to pull the market in. Now, originally on the original V, it didn't. I'm like, right here, I was pretty certain it would. It didn't. I did cut the trade like for a tick, and then I finally got in it. Actually, let's pull that up. Yeah, see, I cut the trade was originally working out, and then I cut it for a tick because on 12 lots it's 150 a tick, and then we re-entered it, and then we re-entered it. So because of what was happening in Russell, it was in this micro range. Let me switch screens. It was in this micro range. Up here, and then I'm like, dude, this is gonna have to bleed out, because it was just the way it was like pressing down here. I'm like, this is gonna bleed out, and that got me to get out of ES for the tick. And I'm like, okay, all these markets are gonna probably pull back a little bit further before they run, and sure as fuck shit it did. Which again brought us right to the edge of this gap. Now, what was interesting was NQ has this upper gap, which it pivoted twice, more than mid, by the way. So NQ is making a run up here. And I knew that on this test, there was a high probability it could make it all the way across. And when that was making it all the way across, this is why I was holding it. Russell, by the way, was going to break into this upper curve. And that was right up in this section. And that helped drag ES into target, in my opinion. Especially when Russell was like breaking this resistance area. That was, to me, was a good sign. It had remember, this low node was in prep. It had pivoted quite a few times too. So this low node should let go. Also, I like this curve because it actually aligns with the 3-year curve pretty spot on. So for me, I know that there's going to be a bit of smoothness to the way Russell's going to move because of how you have that multi-time frame alignment. Because if it's like all fucked up, then you get these really jagged price action. But since this curve looks like this curve, you know, and then that low node, again, the red line really held resistance. Again, there's a reason I put those red lines on these charts. Again, holding. That was a great hit. I've talked about this on other things where you have multiple levels, but it cleanly pivoted the low node, and then it pivoted, value area high, and then that set it up for the blowout. So there's a lot of components going into how that shit unfolds. So now we prep. So first things first, let's just go to the highest time frames. Again, I still think NQ needs to hit that green line, but we were kind of due for a pullback on it anyways, because it's just kind of running quite a bit. I still think that. I mean, it's pretty close. It's actually 500 ticks away or some bullshit. Not much to do on the NQ higher time frame. Not much to do there. So, give me a second here. So we're gonna go to the NQ 10 minute. um, Here, quite a bit needs to be cleaned up and adjusted. Because there's so much levels adjustment going on during a session that you just can't get to it all. There's a lot of maintenance in my trading. So we know there's a value zone here. I don't know why I can't select this profile. We'll make it go bye-bye, I guess. Yep, we'll remove it. So we definitely have a value zone up here where all this ranging is. You could see how the curves are essentially double distributions. This lower curve is prime and mature. So this white line is measuring out that curve. But now we have something else going on up here. We want to see what that looks like. Remember, I did put that up arrow because I think overall it should be going up. I still think that, even though it went as low as it did, because now you really have a good bottom tick here as well. This curve is a little janky. It's got that P shape, but it has that very prominent low node in it, you can see. We want to pull the value zones on this upper curve as clean as we can. And there needs to be adjustments. So there was something here. All that got hit. That was a value area high. RTH. We might need to delete that. Value area low. There's a value area low here. This can go. This is something old that got hit in the morning. I probably should have actually kept it for a template. Come back. Or not. Whatever. So you have a good curve up here, good price action. TC5. So that is value area on what is this, a 10 minute? So does it actually, no, we just put value area high because we're going to be coming from the bottom up. So really it's kind of just a target. There you go. Copy and adjust. This is going to be no EV on it. There's no EV on it. So it gets a 0. Let's put it right on there to the tick. And then we have to make more adjustments. So since this is sort of double distribution, well, I mean, it is double distribution. I want to keep it as a double distribution so I can really see where those low nodes are to see if it's really accepting one or the other. So volume profile settings go to 55, and then this end of window take away because those value zones are no longer correct on this shaded profile. They're actually up to date. Oops. They're up to date. I need to actually adjust the color of this. TC3s. So, in white box, because here's the value zone. It's ready. It's ready to be traded. TC3, get it whited out. Just color code shit. There you go. There's the two profiles. Gonna drag that back so I know, hey, this is this profile. Now I want to just really look at these low nodes, like those red low nodes that I had originally placed there. They're accurate, and again, they're pivoting like for a reason because you have matching going on. You have profile matching going on. This right here can probably be gotten rid of. It definitely can. These red low nodes are just not good because now you have more profile buildup in that section. No, I don't want the keys. I don't want the keys. I'm leaving. I'm leaving after this. I just stopped in to say hey and bring a fucking cake. That's it. Here's some Jello. All right, back to what I'm doing, because this is a YouTube video. Did you see that I made 4,600 bucks today? Haven't had one of those in a while. Very aggressive trading. I never lost more than 460. That was the max in the red I got to today. So that's really some stupid givebacks for sure, but we never fucking hurt ourselves on the bottom end. Just a flesh wound. This is accurate as fuck too, man. That is very accurate. We do want. There's clearly a dip here. We want to definitely mark that out. Copy and adjust. We want to measure out this dip here. Actually, it's not really fitting with the well, that's an interesting area. It really doesn't fit with the 3-year, actually, so we don't even want to use that. These low nodes aren't matching with the low nodes here very well. You got something there. Would I really want to lean on that? Not particularly because, well, actually, I kind of do want to mark it. It's definitely see, this is one of those levels where it's like, it's not really. I'll put two of them to know that, hey, it's kind of a range. So if I'm trying to work this low node and trade on it, because these are areas that are fight worthy. Wait, did it not? There it goes. So I know somewhere in that several tick range. You got this high node that's going to cause problems going into it. So really, you need to in order to get up through there, I mean, shit. We need to keep just marking it up. I know that that's not going to be an easy trade on those red lines. I know there's going to be problems with that high node on the 3-year trying to pull the move back. It depends though, but you have this value zone which did pivot here, so it could blow through here. So really leveraging this value zone to attempt that, but is that even worthy of trading and holding a move that long in a market that comes back this much? We'll see. We'll see. So, what else? These are the best slow nodes. This section down here is weird, but it's also meshed with a high noted area on the 3-year, so you're going to have problems in this section. It mid pivoted it too, actually. That's a big deal. That's a volcano top. Did it jump? Yeah, it did. That mid pivoted the fuck out of it twice. We want to pay attention to this. Actually, we want to pay attention to that. For sure. We're solely based off that 3-year structure. And it's a bottom tick. I mean, because there's a broader range above us, that would be. To me, I'm like, today seems like it might be the low for several trading sessions. At least, I mean, it did bleed back through. It's just going to be a bitch to get into. But this is. We're going to make it a dashed red because it's a POC. And this gets a special fucking label. So when it comes in, I'm like, huh, oh yeah. So this is going to be an EV2. This has a lot going on for it. So it's going to get a big label. EV2, bottom tick, versus 3-year. Mid-roll. I'll put another EV2 in there as well. EV2, EVS, EV2, 3-year mid-roll. There's two things going on. It's the bottom tick of an upper range, but it's also the mid of the 3-year profile. So it's two auction processes overlaid. Right? We're going to just start doing MR for mid-rolls instead of just spelling it. But I like it when it sticks out and it is that long. So I'm like, oh yeah. And this can get copied, so I know where the other pivot is. So I know that that's the pivot bottom. So that this has a lot going for it. There's a lot of these little yellow lines that probably need to all be deleted at some point, which we'll do on the 32nd. But I want to know, hey, there's probably a range up here, and I'm going to just do this. This arrow can get removed here. Oh, didn't mean to get rid of that red line. Oh, oops. Put that in. So I still think it's like up. I still think it's up. Especially after that. I think this is like up. But if we ever come back, we know what's going on down here. And I'm going to emphasize this again. I don't want to, especially what's happening in the highest of time frames on the daily chart with the ES. I think we're just going to keep going up. I don't want to put too much work on this bottom end shit before another rollover. More interested in just future pacing the upper end. But I need to make sure I have levels for the bottom so I can catch the first go. I mean, that is... Oh, there's your bottom tick. There's that other bottom tick. Seems like everything's up to date on here. I mean, this being, not only is this a mid-roll, but it's like the middle of this low valley behind my fucking head. Right here, before it comes into that. So, that's really kind of a line in the sand. Is it going to get abused? Probably. But it's just that's a giant area to really work. But contextually speaking, if some smaller time frame thing can get you set up for that and you just ride the chop, you might have a shot. But I don't know yet. I mean, what's the other market's going to do at that time? Which will dictate how fucked up that area will be. It's all laid out. EV3 gap. No EV on that gap. Certainly have EV up here on whatever this gap is. And then again, that green line I think is the ultimate target. It got very close to it. That could be as close as it gets. But I've been screaming about it this entire stream series. There's your swing trade. Something I wouldn't do, but um, there's certainly EV up here. You got at least one. Need to go to the 32nd and mark it up. This is a mess. This is a fucking mess. I want to get rid of... hold on. Let's make sure our curves are laid out. They are. So I want to get rid of these micro curves or readjust them. So I'm going to just clean them. All that looks like a stop run. There's quite a bit going on up here. I need to go back. See, you have this bullshit. This is the gap. That's definitely an EV3 gap for sure. How easy are we going to go through there? That's really the big question. Can I modify drawings on here? Uh, oops. Kind of want that red line gone. Ah, shit, no, I want to move it back up. So laggy right now. Just put it right there. I wanna drop this, and it needs to say it's an EV3 gap. See, it's originally at a 1. I wasn't able to update it in this session. And it mid-rolled, didn't it? Did it not? I'm pretty fucking sure it did. Oh, yeah. Fucking shit. So it went more than midway through before target. I mean, if it comes through there, it's going. And it's probably going to overshoot and hit that high noted area, or at least that green. I would say here. For sure. Well, nah, you never know, right? Um, okay. Mm, so, wait. It's EV3. Why is it... No, I didn't fucking update it. I put the roll in. All right, that's good. So now I'm gonna I'm gonna configure this button now. I'm gonna change this from yellow to orange just for now, because I wanna. Oh, shit. Configure button. Save. Hopefully the color's not too fucked. Why is it? Oh, it is orange. So I want to, because I have the yellow lines for the prior range, but that range is from a prior day, so I want to just change the color of these this day's ranges, so I kind of know where the pivots. So I know there's 2 days of pivoting in roughly the same location because time makes EV better. More time, it good, you know. Quite a few pivots up here. Let's kind of zoom in and nitpick it a little bit. Oh yeah, that's see, just being able to see like um just being able to see how many pivots are in a location. So I know there's like 4 lines there, right? Because I won't necessarily be seeing this section during the actual next trading session, right? Because the overnight's going to put in all this spacing between this pivot and whenever we come back up there. But having all these orange lines here lets me know roughly where the market was pivoting and how many times on the high end. So now I can visualize what the micro range EV is, judging by how many lines there are. And again, a lot of these support resistant areas are more areas than specific levels. So what's that area look like? And if I see a real cluster fuckus of these horizontal lines, like down here especially, they're more spaced out up here, but it's more cluster fuckus down here. So that's telling me that somebody was working a tight area there and it pivoted a lot, multiple times, because there's so many levels. So I know that that's really ripe for a blowout, which it did blow out. Sure, there was an inventory clear, and hypothetically, the yellow lines could be deleted. But for whatever reason, this second day, we held in the same general region where the yellow lines are to where the orange lines are. So even though there was an inventory flush, we're still holding in that 30, that 40 region right here on NQ the next day, even though there was an inventory blowout. So somebody's really interested in that area. That we know that. And then we inventory shoved. You obviously have a gap. It did go support here for a hot minute. They did try to hold it support, but down here they re-engaged it um, to hold it down on these pivots here. Um, so it went immediately back resistance in roughly the same area. So, and somebody tried to hold it. It didn't work. So I think that's going to make the gap work. You got the mid roll. It's an EV3 rating. I keep saying it, and I'll say it again. I think that green line needs to get hit. And if we're going in the green line, we might as well go here to this peaky node, right? So with that being said, we should actually probably mark that out on here. So, yeah. So we know that there's this really prominent noted area. This 3-year, by the way, is compressed like a 4-to-1 on NQ. Otherwise, this 3-year would look a little weird. Oops. Oh yeah, we do need to modify, but we're gonna again. I'm trying to use like dotted lines on red lines as to differentiate solid ones. Low nodes are solid. Dotted are gonna be POCs. It's a VPOC 3-year. So we know what it is. I don't really think there's much. I mean, don't care about the EV on it. I just know it's gonna pull whatever happens up here. I think it'll get stuck there, or it could just slam back down. Um, but I really think that this area is it's gonna maybe overshoot this green line. Now that green line, interestingly enough, is the value area of this Who knows? I think the other markets like Russell could drag it through here or maybe prevent it from going all the way. Really, that's what is Russell going to do at that time, because Russell really is not to be slept on, because Russell really does it's different. It's if Russell says, "Hey, I'm going to fucking go sideways," then these others don't break out. Or they can, and Russell cycles down. Russell goes up, they move up. Russell goes down, they get stuck. And then Russell moves up, they go up. Russell moves down, they get stuck. So Russell just trading a mean can sometimes just be boosting the others. So it allows you to time in and cycle in at the appropriate time, in my opinion. Um, so we know there's a whole mess of shit going on. I think it can go through there. Again, the best part about that prep is now I'm really internalizing what's going to happen tomorrow, because we have all this information from today's trading session, and then taking the time to prep is allowing me to really internalize and just like, well, this could happen, this could, because if I don't prep and I just come into a session, I haven't played this ping pong, this game of pong in my head with this stuff, and then I'm trying to figure it out on the fly, and then I think I see a setup, but I'm missing information. So this allows me to go, well, this happened, that, and then I'm verbally telling you the narrative. Well, somebody's interested in this. Somebody's doing this here. Somebody's clearly interested in it. They inventory blew it. We got 2 days of somebody interested in that area, or the market in general. Whatever reason wants to hold that. So that's all narrative, and now I've internalized it, so now I can bring it forth into the next session and go, well, here's what's, and then labeling all that stuff, having your labels. Um, so we have this upper value area. This is also an interesting location. That's also a gap. So we're going to work our way down. That should be deleted. Hold on. We need to go to the 10-minute. Did I delete something that I shouldn't have? I think I did. This is interesting. Back on the 10-minute. See this really low dip? It's matching. This low dip. And it kind of has a micro curve here and then a curve up there. That's a gap. That's a gap. We need to look at this gap. Back to the 30-second. You can see the gap from this yellow up. This is interesting because it's two setups in one. You have this range, and it's a perfect looking range. And then, see, this is where you can get a combo where it blows through here, and then it blows through here, and then it goes all the way up to that. This is a combo of trade. This is how I did the $14,000 moonshot trade. It was just a combo of all these things that just happen to be on top of each other, and then it sure as a fuck shit. There it goes. These don't come around too often, like this. I would like $10,000. I'll have what he's having, says the traders in the room. I'm like, I'll take the 10,000, and the others are like, I'll have what he's having. Or if you guys don't, fuck it, I don't care. Um, this is interesting. It did get some top ticking right here. Not quite right there, but it definitely put in a really, actually, this top tick from here to here, it had a deep pullback. Then you got a bottom tick. It didn't quite top tick, but still, this thing is like, this range here, I think will cleanly blow all the way through. This is one of those ranges. If you ever notice, there's ranges where the price will come back and it'll just go right through that range that was a pain in the ass range for like a day and a half or like a half day, you know. This is one of those pain in the half ranges where it chops people up, and then one day it just goes right through it like butter. You know, so I think this is one of those ranges. We'll see. What is Russell gonna do? You know, is Russell gonna fucking jerk off in the corner? You know, so because of this, then you have really good resistance here as well. I mean, look at those pivoting. Like the pivoting is so clean ish. Just kind of want to like, what is it? And then you have a gap here that half rolled. How many times? 1, 2, 3, fucking, I don't know. We'll also keep these orange so we know it's from that day. Um, this has a this is no longer an EV0 gap. So I'm going to count that as 1 test, 2 tests, 3. I'm going to give it a 3 plus rating because, yeah, it's like, well, you can kind of break it up. No, but I'll give it a 3 plus. So usually when it's got a plus on it, it's like, hey, this might be juicy. I'm just staring at it for a minute. Hell, dude, even there! Okay, it's an EV4 plus then at that point. That's a good test. That's a good pullback too. Oh, mid-roll. Let's not be stupid here. We need a mid-roll. Why did they go to the other screen? See, it's a big-ass label, so it's like, it's good. Okay, so next. Just still on NQ. How long has this been going for? 38 minutes. A lot has happened. So to me, that gap is good to go. What about this pro? I mean, that's the thing. You have a gap mid-roll EV4 plus. Okay, here's what could happen. And then you have this white area, which is a profile, by the way. If it goes through this profile, the target is the mid-roll. But it already mid-rolled this fucking profile, or that gap, so therefore the gap can let go. And if the gap closes, it's close to this 2-day resistance area on another mid-roll gap, EV3, that it could just go from here all the way to that. You have this combo. Now, is that what's going to happen? Because sometimes the market's like, fuck you. So the bobbing and weaving is a whole nother skill set, right? On the NQ, that's 627 ticks. I don't know if that's a lot, but that seems like it would be a lot for yes, it seems like that's over 100 ticks. Now, is ES kind of looking the same? Does ES have all this juicy shit in the same areas? Because if it does, then okay, we'll game on. But if not, then is this where I fucking risk it all? Is this where I just go all in? Probably not. This shit is all fucking goofy. The way it channeled down, that looks like a stop run, to be honest. That all just looks like a fucking... I don't want to knit. Yeah, fuck it. We want to draw out. Channel. These channels are always... Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to just label it all out. Let's actually do Rith channels a different color. We'll do it that sky blue. Because these channels like this get stop run. These fucking channels always get, not always, but a lot of times they get fucking ran. You know? Same sort of fucking bullshit, you know? I just want to know, like, where's all the closer, like, from a micro range perspective, what does it look like? So I'm making it noisy, but I know that it's a downward channel. And if I'm like really fighting my way into something like this, I look for where the more lines are clustered, you know what I mean? Or it might inventory flush some of the lines and then go sideways, and then we got to delete those. It just, when it comes to fighting it, it's just going to be a dash dot. Because there's two pivots. Another dash dot. Fucking channels, man. I'm learning them. I'm learning them. Always struggled with channels, but they could be they could be great for a fucking stop run. Maybe getting into it, yeah. I mean, this fucking motherfucker just keeps channeling lower. It has more, the channel like down is way more aggressive here. You know, interesting. It did hold a lot here, like almost really hardcore support all through this region. And then they just started getting squeezed. Like they held, they got it going, and then were getting squeezed, and they were just bending. And there was a reclaim, and then they were filling that in, just slowly bending like a fucking tree branch, and then it just crapped. So we know we got a channel there. I don't know if I'm gonna keep labeling the fuck out of channels. This is kind of experimental. But I do want to know about them. I don't know if I want to label the bottom side of it though. What I know is there's a value zone here, and I don't think it's necessary to do that because, in my opinion, it's like, well, it should go through here. There is a micro range here. We could probably look at that. Here's some old lines. We should get rid of those. Those low nodes can stick. These low nodes are important. Also, these pivots seem to be right near this low node here, which is clearly separating this curve from this curve. If this does anything, I want to see it maybe pivot up here, pivot this red line, and then go. Um, really, what is it going to do in that void? That's, you know, kind of important. Shit. Okay. I want to know about this. This is sort of a more channel. Actually, you know what? You know what? There's a fucking 5 tick. Well, it's actually more than that because this 3 years compressed. It's a micro gap. And it did pivot it. Well, who knows? If you got some morning volatility, you could just. I think this whole area could be a little weird. It's such a small gap, it's almost guaranteed to go. So now we need to look at this green line. Oh yeah, there was a value zone here. It got whacked. That's gone. So we know this is a big deal. We know that's a big deal down here, as discussed earlier. I do want to know, though, like, I do want to know about, give me a second. Just a support resistance from a micro perspective. What does that look like? You know, it's not that impressive. We obviously know that's support and resistance as well. You know, probably don't need those labels there. It did hold a little bit in there. Just wondering if there's a way to get in that early. Probably not. Not until it comes up and then back through. You have this gap here, which I'm not really going to fucking label. These low nodes now have EV on them, actually. Right here. I'm just going to say it really did come all the way across this and back in. I'll probably just give it an EV2 or something. EV2. And it's from top side down. That's 23 even. We'll delete that, copy and adjust. All that's letting me know is these low nodes are holding. They've held. Just like we have EV2 on that high node. So how's it going? These are really the more critical ping pong points, or not really the more they are. I mean, they're not the most. They are a more critical ping pong point. It could do all sorts of weird shit in between, but from here, it could come back to here. But if it doesn't, well, it could crash through there. We'll see. Who knows? It could do all sorts of shit. So you got to leverage other things. But I'm not gonna label this gap because it could chop all over it in the overnight. That's accurate. So now we have NQ marked up. What's the deal with this gap down here? It's an EV0 gap. There could be a bounce here. It may not get. There's an EV0 here. It could pivot here or here. I really don't think NQ is going to run that gap. That's a big gap. You got an EV0 value zone here. You got a major low node. You got this gap. It just doesn't seem. It's such a big gap. It doesn't seem like it's going to run all the way through that. That if anything, it's going to pivot there. It could blow through there and then I'm more confident in a combo trade from here up. But I feel with this channel and this really good white value zone, it could blow through there easy. If it does, it could hit the other shit and chain react, and you just get a big run. That's why there's so many colors, because there's a huge amount of combinations of things that could happen. And also, when the market channels down like that, it's struggling to get down for a reason. And that's when you get these colossal stop runs, is when it just does that. It just absolutely unloads. Cool. Now we go on to yes. See what the real magic is here. Well, still think it needs to go up. I think it's just a bumpy ride through the. I mean, this is hitting the mid. Actual wait, yeah. Ooh. That has rolled right smack dab on the mid. There could be a big pullback. I don't think it. I think it's going all the way through this, which is over 600 ticks from here. But look how janky the 3-year is. You know, what is going to do all sorts of fuck shit as it ping pongs its way all the way through. We'll see. That really just says, hey, I mean, actually, it could go down. That is a mid pivot. I think it. So I just know the higher time frame is kind of like down. Just bring that in closer. It's a fucking stupid looking arrow. It's all squished. Oh man. There. Whatever. Um. Now we need to look at the 10-minute. It's definitely going to be imperative that I like look at this shit Sunday night again. But I know what could happen. It looks like one of those Mexican Indian blankets with all the colors. Oops, we're not trading NQ. All right, yes, 10 minute. What do you have for me? Well, that gap blew out. That was one of those things from the prior prep. Looks like it went through pretty fucking clean too, huh? Now it's an EV2 because it did pivot it. Mm. Um, let's hide 2 and 7 for now. Oops. Oh, I didn't realize I could just do that. Yeah, please. See, that's an interesting specimen. I just need to look at it. Because you got that low node here and here, but it doesn't match. This is about your value zone, though. I'm gonna drag the value zone up just because you have that weird pivot. You have that weird like high node pivot thing going on here. TC3. There is a micro gap that could be leveraged to get into it. We'll actually put that right here. There could be an interesting attack on this. $10-minute. Um, right here. See this micro gap? leave it like that. No, actually, I'm going to drag it across. I just want to look at it. Like in relation to this low node. I'll explain in a minute. So it's just a low node 10 minute. I'm going to dump it down to a red dotted line. Here's what I think. Because it's like this high node is here, and that's weird. I think that it could ping pong. I think it could chop in here a bit. But I think if it's really compressing here, it could hit that gap run and then go the whole thing. It's just like these are little things where it could chop or pivot that'll cause like an issue. I mean, it is EV0 on everything. You know, so. Um, so now we know what's kind of going on up here. There's that blatantly high. Oh, yeah, I hit a bunch of shit from the other charts. Shit. What did I fucking hide? Get rid of that bullshit. Oops. At least I have the value zone off that. Okay, there's that high node. All right, cool, cool. Again, critical for the long from today when I cut the bottom. And again, Russell had me get out and get back in, which was great. Wait a second, what is that? I think that's... Get rid of that. That's old news. That's a riff level. So we know we have a profile up there. What do I gotta just double check? Oh yeah, we have this bullshit down here. Did it jump it? I think it did. It did. Yeah, because that's... Wait, or did it? Oh no, I bought the pit because of the pivot on the top of it. Now it's breaching it. Is it? It should be drawn on here. Yep. I'm gonna get rid of these two. I guess, yep, those are the two I need to get rid of. Because they're not drawn on the 10-minute, and the white lines are there, so. Those profiles are drawn and updated and modified. And the fact that they're labeled 10-minute, it's just a little better. It's just like, hey, this is on a, I can see it clearly on a higher time frame, so therefore it's a bit better. You have this bitch down here, which actually still has its value zones marked out. Okay. You can see these old green lines here. They should be white. They should be TC3s. Well, I'm leaving, so don't get too comfortable. So what's this other bullshit though? Hold on. Oh, that should be a gap. Oh, that is a gap. Why, oh, stupid. I'm like, why is that white? Oh, it's a gap. Oh, that should be a TC3 here, this one. Okay. TC3. So this is not now. This upper region is definitely has an EV count on it. uh, 2 with a mid roll. I will count that. Close enough. That should go. I guess I can work my way from the downside up. Ah, back. Damn it. Just all those little micro pivots. Where were they? I'm not too concerned about all this. I think it could go up in that for sure. Probably overshoot. Oh, here's that bullshit channel down. ES also channeled at the same fucking time. Uglier, but it did that bullshit. So actually, the value zone and everything is actually matching what the NQ has. So if like the chart drawings look the same in the same areas, then they should both go. All right, I'll be back. Piss break. right. Yeah. That's right. Ah. Dash dot, because that pivoted twice. Right there. Can ES really blow out that channel and go through there into this white value zone? Again, it's a channel. I think getting off this area is going to be a bitch. Like, I just think it's going to trade like shit in this section. I don't know. Excuse me. We'll see. This gap is not an EV2 gap anymore. Wait a second. Hold on. Fucking channels. This gap needs to be modified. It's not. Oh, wait. It's this one. Uh, that gap is a little fucked up. It's got this little hump in here. It doesn't look very nice. I don't really like it at all. I don't really want to use it as a gap. It's just a little too fucked up for my liking. Especially since there's a curve up here on the 3-year and really the low note. It's just, I don't like it. This is interesting. What's interesting though that I do want to talk or like mark out is like there is a prominent low node here between these two. Um, It'd be that area. Now, obviously, it's getting the fucking shit chopped out of it, which means the next time it's revisited, it could clean pivot. So keep that in mind. Um, oh, there's a value zone down there too. We won't worry about that. Well, we should actually make it the appropriate colors. Really didn't think today's prep would be like this, but I guess it is. A lot of new structure and just things have been tested, so um, there's EV on that value area too. But that's so far down there. Um, See, I'm really down biased actually because of this and this, and you really don't, you have this and that. You do have this. I think it could be real wacky, and timing it is just gonna be critical to get a short through here. But it looks good. And if it hits this white area, then it's probably gonna bottom tick here. It may come to this gap and rotate this gap edge. So if it's coming through here, there might be a chance you do get it to push out to these bottom ticks, which if that's the case, it might hit that gap edge or whatever, maybe just above it. And it may, I mean, that's a really high tick count trade. You're talking like for a bottom tick, 41 ticks, I mean, is really good. You know, for me, that's not often that I hit 41 ticks. So that's really could be good. Like to see more pivoting and certain things that happen above, but we'll see. Now I'm going to go to volume profile setting here. 55, none. Because since I have multiple profiles in here, I do like to see the low nodes because I do want to, I've been noticing I like the transitions. Um, so there's the true value zones of these profiles, which once they're hit, they'll get deleted. Um, just want to look at it for a minute because I do like it. I want to, let's get in here though. Let's really look at it though. See, when you look at it from this perspective, there's other things going on. Now there is a micro, actually up here there might be a micro curve. Let's make sure it's more than 10 minutes. 23. It's about a 10-minute curve. Let's see how clean it looks, though. If it's not clean, I don't like it. It's really not all that good. A little, I just don't want to use that. Now that is the high. That is the high. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, we need to mark this. We want to actually mark this area up. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. I'm grabbing the wrong screen. That that is an EV2 gap, right? There's test one. Oh no, because it blew through, but it's still an EV2. I did update that. So we now we're gonna switch this to an orange. This is very familiar. Notice how a lot of this is looking like I had to do yellow to orange lines on NQ. The fact that these two markets have done relatively the same thing uh, is interesting. Even this pivot, because it's still whatever, for whatever reason, it definitely want to look at that. See, I think there might be overshoot on it. Really, we're up long term. We're up on ES. Like I think ES has quite a ways to go. Um, I think ES has quite a ways to go. Um, man, this motherfucker really same concept. Like it really enjoys holding here. Like especially this exact tick right the fuck here. It had held it to the tick quite a few times that um, it's like what the fuck. So there's quite a bit of it being held in that location. Again, if can we channel run? I mean, this channel's shit. Hit these stops or this resistance area, blow through it on an EV2 gap and run further. And just like I think NQ needs to pull a little bit higher to that high node, can ES pull to this high node? So that's sort of like what I think might happen. And if they're both doing the same things, because They don't always do the same things. They did the same exact shit today. Whatever's going on, a lot of the same things are happening. You know, what the fuck is this all about? You know, I'm not gonna. I know that has a mid roll because of the labeling. Well, on to Russell. Right? Yeah. Okay. That's an EV3 now on a 240, so that's actually really good. See if Russell hits this, old profile, when all those others are trying to hit them channel lines, you're talking about a megalithic move. I do want to actually go back to ES and put this profile on the 30 seconds so I know that it's trying to build value here. I would like to know, like, are they, like, what's the value? What are they doing? Now I can go back. There's something going on up there. It has a bottom tick, which is the last thing it had, so I think it should go up. I still think it's going to go up because of how this bottom tick came in. That bottom tick came after that top tick. Uh, 10-minute. This is going to require a lot of work. That still didn't get hit. Oh, it did. I think a lot of these red lines got to go, though. Actually, not that one. Oh, wow. Okay, that one pivoted. top side down. Bottom side down. No, all that can stay. Look at this here. Not quite, but oh yeah. Kind of the best slow node. It's a little racked and skewed, but I'd look at it like the lower nodes are higher here and they're lower here. So where's that happy medium? We do need to label this POC though, because that's a composite. You know, that's and there's another one right below it, right here. That one could easily turn into the POC as well because they're about the same height for the nodes. This is very much an active value zone, flanked by smaller curves. Interestingly enough. And this bitch here, I mean, this is still under construction. This is a multi-day composite. Russell's very different, but it's necessary because it allows you to know if ES and NQ are not going to do what they're supposed to, and they both agree on. See, that's down there. I'm not really too worried about labeling that at this point. I'm not sure what that was. We'll worry about it when we get down there. if we get down there. So now we kind of know what's going on here. Well, do I still think it's up? Yeah, I do. But for some reason, ES, I'm like, Oh, because ES needs a Oh, because ES put in the mid pivot. That's interesting. I don't. What about NQ? I need to double check NQ. NQ's up. Well, may the better market win, or may they all sync up. 32nd. What Russell 32nd. Oh yeah. We used a lot of it to time things. Um, there's that value zone down there. And then the one up here. We wanna start breaking Russell up. Russell's a very interesting. So what the fuck? Ah, there you go. There seems to be Russell's a very profile within a profile type of market. All right, that's not very pretty, is it? It's not. There's a whole mess of shit I need to clean up. All right. Okay. Just get rid of that. What is this profile running? What is this? Oh, wow. Okay. That seems like that should be on the 10-minute. That seems like that should be a 10-minute thing. And it should. It's this price. Excuse me. It's this price action up here. Again, this is a very like fractal fucking market. Very fractal with its profiles. Double distribution, but this needs to go. I believe. Okay, yeah. We'll worry about that bottom line in a minute. So, TC3, obviously. Kind of pivoted that high node right there. I'm wondering if it comes back, if it could run both those profiles up. I don't know. But this is critical to see if the other two will go. You know, so TC3. EV, there might be EV on it. Value area low 10. Modify text. Okay. What the fuck is this, you know? That could still be being built. This area needs to be paid attention to. Like what? Like it is pivoting here. For some reason. Like why is it, you know? Support resistance 10. Like why is it pivoting on a 10-minute chart roughly this location? And it still is. It did here. Sure, you had an inventory wash, but now it's doing it again in the same fucking area. Really, the same bullshit up there, too. It really never did it after the fact, so I'm not going to really touch that. If it had come to about here after the fact, I'd probably label it, but you know. There's an EV4 bullshit down here. There's a bit of a gap here. I mean, it mid-rolled that high node too. Here's your VPOX on the 10. But then you have, see, Russell can get, like, when it's like, ooh, so much dissonance, when you're like, oh, well, that's when the trades do suck. So, if I'm like, I don't fucking see anything, then good. That means there's nothing there. Oh, Control Z. Yeah, whatever. 93.6. Gotcha. 93. Because it could really ping pong. 93.6. One more tick down. There you go. But there's this prominent node here that could cause problems. It could get really goofy in there, and it probably is. It's starting to stage up and be goofy. Now that low node has an EV1, which I marked, so that's telling us it actually could range in this section. Further increasing the support and resistance here, or it could blow it out. But at some point, if it really depends what's happening. It could get weird down there. Fuck, there's a fucking bug in my face. So now we have the 10-minute. Now we can look at this 30-second, and then I can just be done with all this shit. So you do have that. This little micro curve can be leveraged. This other fucking curve back here, that's drawn on the 10 minutes, so that's gone. I need to bring the drawings back up. But foist, let's see what this is right here. Let's see what this fucking bullshit is. This range looks nice. I'd like to know about it. Well, there you go. Now we know something about it. See, that can be leveraged too. Again, this fucking market is so fractal. But if Russell is hitting one of these key ups right when the other two need to hit their key ups, then that's good to go. Let's do this. TC3. See, and then you think I'm going to have time to do all this shit in the middle of a session. It's just no way. Then you start missing things. Just drawing and just very necessary. I mean, when I hit the $14,000 moonshot trade, I was prepping heavily like this. This is going to be Riff. So we know it's on the RTH. There's a lot of absorption right at the tip of this. This upper area is a little screwy. All of it is a little real. There was heavy absorption up there, huh? I'm gonna have to kind of draw the upper value area and just adjust it. It's got great price action and the curve looks okay. It's a double distribution, man. TC3. Um, that's definitely an EV2. Actually, 2 plus, I would say. Yeah, I tested it there, but we'll give it a 2 plus, and it has a mid roll. And then I do want to know about this. Right here. Um, it is a good low node on both the RTH and the 3-year. Not the best, but notice how that curve curves there and that curve matches. So there is a bit of matching right there. And you did mid-roll twice. Actually. This low node section doesn't quite mesh. They're very askewed, but I think this has such high EV that it could go and it could really pivot off this and even that. So I do want the context of having that. So I'll look at it as an area. And then it mid pivoted up here. Really, if it's able to get through this profile, I don't know about this lower one, but I know if it gets up in here, there's a good chance it could just keep pushing beyond this. So the question is, what the fuck is up here? Because this is more so a really. Oh wow, there's a big gap up there. There's a lot going on. Oh, overnight. Oh wow. Okay. Overnight session pivoted here as well. Um, where else did it? I'm not gonna worry about that one. That one. That's slightly lower. And it's orange because there's an old line from the prior day. Interesting. See, it's a little spaced out, but we know where the pivots have been. I mean, that mid roll twice off of good pullbacks, right up here. I mean, fuck, and that's a really prominent high node too, isn't it? It is. It is. It's a very prominent high node too. I gotta. I mean, this is. We just can put mid roll. I know what that means. Okay. Then you got all this like support resistance here. Okay, which was primarily resistance of that. We're gonna look at this on the 10-minute for sure. Really, it's mid-rolled a lot. I mean, to the tick, it's mid-rolled twice. But again, it had held up here at one point and flushed. So this is telling me that it, and then you have a gap there. You see this upper gap. Bring the other shit in, I guess. Just when you thought it couldn't get noisier, here you go. There's like a fucking gap there. The taper is a bit aggressive. I want to look at the 10-minute though. chart 18. I need to hide the lines off this. 55. None. There's a larger composite there. There's a larger composite here. But you still have two micro profiles comprising the end of this more elongated. And you have a mid-roll gap up there. This should run all the way to there. $10-minute. So that gap has been ran. So really that gap is being tested twice because the gap had ran multiple times up here and over here. So the fact that it's failed makes sense at this point. Again, Russell has these profiles in a profile like here and all that bullshit. I think that's why it moves the way it does. Well, it moves the way it does because it makes profiles like that, so. But I want to know, like, there's your POCs on that bitch. Which are also the low nodes. Can we really jump it? And it's right smack dab middle of this major bullshit. But again, this is how it's fractal. There's a major range here. There's a profile up here. There's a profile up here, and they've not been traded. And then you go into a 30-second, and there's micro profiles within the last half of that composite. So it's a very much a profile and a profile type of market. We'll see how she jumps. Because really you're getting in the middle again up here, so I think it could really turn into a problem. I don't think Russell is going to combo its way all the way up. But I think if ES and NQ are where they need to be when it's jumping here, that'll help. See, and then you got this bullshit down here. Russell's kind of off doing its own thing. Almost done. TC3. It actually pivoted too on the upside. TC3. It's a value area high, RTH with an EV1. Value area low. Down here. Oh, it didn't label it. Whatever. A very fractal fucking market. I don't know. Oh, that's the wrong deal. You can see, though, it has all that fractal bullshit. Like, it blew through right there, and then it blew out that chop down there, and then it had sideways shit, went up, blew it out. So you can see, even here, it went sideways there, and it blew out that fractal movement. So that's what RTY does, and that's why it looks the way it looks, because and that just adds a whole nother, it's still auction market theory, I mean, fuck. But that's a lot. So what I want to do is, because it's too much to look at on here, I'm going to modify it to where chart 18 isn't shown. Just take some of that off. There's a lot going on. Very interesting. Monday's going to be interesting. If Sunday night doesn't... Sunday night could just puke one side. I think that's it.